Well, time now for our next guest on Startup Central, MilkBasket. You've been reading about MilkBasket recently. It's believed to be one of the startups that Reliance Retail and Mukesh Ambani want to acquire. Remember, recently you did see Reliance Industries and rather Reliance Retail pick up a 60% stake in NetMeds. It's next believed to be looking at Urban Ladder and MilkBasket. So we reached out to the MilkBasket founder to find out if this is true or false. Here's an edited excerpt. Anant, thanks so much. So first up,
it's a pleasure.
Are you selling out to Reliance Retail?
We are not.
Would you say the story was incorrect, that you've had no conversations whatsoever with Reliance Retail?
So the story that means I don't know which story are you referring to. If you look at the last 3 to 4 months, MilkBasket has always been in light, where I actually get to know from the newspaper that MilkBasket is getting acquired. And, I congratulate the journalist to say that, guys, also give me a crystal ball. So, yeah, we are not in any conversations right now. In the past, have we had conversations? We have had conversations with multiple entities, but that's an ongoing part of the business. But nothing on the cards right now, fortunately or unfortunately.
Okay, so now let me ask you in a different way. You did go in for a fundraise recently, then there was a lockdown. Supplies must have been difficult. Anyway, consumer discretionary spend is now coming back, but it must have been tough during coronavirus and the lockdown. Are you looking at any kind of a deal at all?
No, so see where we are today as MilkBasket. We were one of those, lucky, I would say 2% or 4% of the industries or the companies for which COVID was actually a tailwind. And from a demand perspective, so people are sitting at home, they want a safe way to get their groceries, and we provide that safest contactless way from last 5 years. So we were in the middle of it, where people just want to buy everything from MilkBasket. We did have our own share of struggles in terms of feet on street, in terms of transportation, in terms of supplies not being there. And yeah, March and almost half of April was quite chaotic in terms of trying to resume everything. Now that being said, we are stronger than ever as a company, and we are truly independent and looking to be on an independent path. In fact, what we are looking at right now, we are in the early stages, is to say how can we go for an IPO next year. So possibility is something that is growing up today.
Okay. You're one of the few startups that is dreaming going public pretty early on in the journey. And that too when there's so much chatter of whether the overseas listing is going to be allowed.
Yeah, so I think that's one thing that is sort of on the, on the radar. And as we are growing, it's always, the later you go, the better valuation you can have. But financially speaking, we are in that position today that we can start thinking about it. And the team and, our investors are really excited about that prospect. So very, very excited there.
Okay, so you want to do an IPO, going for an IPO, you're very excited about it. And I'm going to just ask you straight up, Anant, you want to do this also at a time when every second person, and I would imagine every second person of your target consumer, I'm talking about, in the urban cities and all of that, is talking of going off dairy. There seems to be this anti-dairy movement at the moment. And you're dreaming of going public, or is that just in a bubble that we are in, that we read that dairy is bad for you these days, you should not drink milk and all?
Oh, okay. So, you're the first one who's telling me that. At least I have not heard that around from a campaign perspective. But see, while I'll be very frank here, MilkBasket is MilkBasket by name, but milk has very little to do with our business today. Just to put things in perspective, milk is less than 15% of our sales. Other dairy would be another 2 to 3%, maybe 4%. So 80% of our business has nothing to do with milk or dairy, for that matter. We are a full-fledged 100% grocery startup where people buy from a broom to a washing powder to a detergent to a floor cleaner or a flour or a pulse or dry fruits. You name it, we will have it. We have assortment of 9,000 plus SKUs from which you pick up and fulfill your household needs. And milk and dairy SKUs would be maybe 200 to 250 out of them. So a very small component. That's definitely how we started, but now we have graduated to become a very different player altogether. And if campaign is going to come and people are going to go off milk, I think they're bigger players and a bigger problem for the economy, which is out there. Imagine the large cooperatives, the biggest cooperatives of the world, which exist in India in terms of PSUs or cooperatives like Amul, like Mother Dairy. Uh, I think people going off dairy in a culture like India, where it's almost like a religion. I don't know, what campaigns can achieve and how soon can we achieve. And we will see how it goes. People will not buy dairy; they will buy more Pepsi, maybe. Then we will sell more Pepsi. We are after the customer. We are not after anything else.
So, Anant, my next question is that, while the name of your startup is Milk Basket and you have all these dreams for an IPO, the fact is that Milk Basket delivers everything from milk to all kind of groceries, to flour, to everyday items, household items, all of that, right?
Hmm.
But this has become a very competitive space, especially during COVID-19. Everybody wants to be in the delivery business. The Kirana stores
Yeah.
are also tying up to make sure of this. You've got the likes of Swiggy who are picking up things from stores and sending it to you within 1 hour, all of that. How will
Hmm.
you stay differentiated? Are you differentiated, first of all? And how will you stay relevant and competitive?
Very interesting question. Let me see how can I answer that. So, are we differentiated? Yes, Milk Basket is very very unique, very differentiated, and it's not because I say it's because our customers think, they believe, and it's something that we have proven in the last 5.5 years. And in terms of competition, I think if we go back in the history, what we will see is that when we started in 2015, there were approximately 200 online grocery startups. If I remember, within Gurgaon, there were at least 10 to 12 decently funded startups, seed, angel, series A. There were the likes of Peppertap, if you remember the name. There was Local Bania, Bombay-based startup had launched in Gurgaon, Delhi. And all of them were very decently funded. Grofers was doing express delivery at that time, 90 minute. That was the Grofers model. And if you look at it, today also, what we are seeing is that it's the same things getting repeated, where people are going back to the same model that existed 5.5 years ago. It was getting a lot of funding, a lot of money was being spent and thrown per se on trying to solve a customer need. Milk Basket was started at a time where everything was there, and I was asked that question in 2015. Everybody's doing grocery. Why are you doing grocery? And in 2016, we were asked the same question that everybody's failing in grocery. How can you not fail in grocery? So I think it's a question that we have been answering. And for us, we believe that there's a unique consumer demand and there's a unique set of customers whom we are fulfilling the demand for. And this market is huge. Today, I estimate this market to be north of $100 billion. And there's enough scope for us to expand and keep growing, and capture that market. And also, very interestingly, this is not the same market that many other retailers are operating in. They're all selling groceries, but sorry. Very important to understand is whom are you selling the groceries to? It's a $700 billion market, uh, and for example, our customer segment is very distinct from many other players out there. They don't understand our customers, and we don't understand their customers. If you remember, or I don't know whether you know, Milk Basket is very selective on where we serve. So while we are in Gurgaon, we only serve maybe 15% population of Gurgaon. We don't serve 85% population. because we believe that just understanding your consumer and satisfying their need is very important. And Gurgaon is a billion-dollar market, and we are very very small, and there are 10 players which will exist in Gurgaon, has always existed, and still we are one of those top three today, or top two, in terms of the size of grocery that we sell in Gurgaon. So these things will players will come and go. They would look at opportunity. We believe that there's one strategic strength that we have, which is understanding the consumer and doing it right for the consumer. I think we can just keep building on it, and there's enough scope for us to keep expanding for years or decades to come if we have to.
Okay, that's so you're being very discerning, is what you're saying. And in your journey, you have also managed to get some of the best investors out there on board, whether it's a Kalari, whether it's a Bloom, or even Unilever Ventures, right?
Yeah.
You raised money even during a lockdown, the middle of the lockdown, the month of June, as India was unlocking. You did go in for your Series B fundraise. Are you well
Yeah.
capitalized? Are you going to expand at a time like this? Also, when many have no choice but to extend the cash runway and be risk averse, reimagine it all.
So yeah, lots of questions there. We were able to raise money, thanks again to our customers who have trusted us and keep giving us business, because I think no money comes in until you have a solid business backing it. So we were fortunate there to have that, and deliver to our promises that we make. Uh, are we expanding? Yes, we are expanding as we speak on a daily basis, weekly basis. We are also launching certain new areas where we don't serve today, across all the cities that we are in. So that's an ongoing process. In terms of preserving the cash and runway, I think that's where we are sort of fortunate that we are sort of on an infinite runway where we don't need to risk more capital today, uh, to go ahead or grow or to survive for next 12 months or 18 months or 24 months. There is no timeline. We just keep growing and keep making money, and keep depositing money into the bank account. So if that's the cycle that you have achieved once, the idea is to maintain that cycle and be true to that. uh, and if money knocks on the door, I'm not also going to say no to money. Let me be very clear. So because if today we are going to grow, the idea is to grow 5% to 7% month over month. uh, if we get a lot of access to capital today, and somebody wants to put in money, if somebody's hearing and wants to put in money, I don't mind growing 15% month over month also. But today I don't have capital for that. But if that comes, happy to do that.
You're basically saying you will not say no to money. You've been very clear on that. But you will
Yeah.
say no to an offer for a merger or an acquisition.
When did I say that? No. So see, merger or an
Right
acquisition
up
is
front. You said you have plans to be independent.
yeah, that's the plan. But I know many founders, I know many companies across the world which get acquired before the IPO, because I think, see, beauty lies in the eyes. If that comes tomorrow and says, "Hey, Anant, you know what? This is what you're going to make in next 10 years. I'm going to give it to you today." I might be tempted. Let me be very frank. Why not? We don't have any intentions, but but it's a buyer's market at the end of the day.
Okay.